Sophia watches the video feeds from the field team when she sees an explosion and the feeds go dark. Sophia stands up quickly, alarmed. What happened, Sophia? Are they okay? Sophia, seated at a console, frantically types on the keyboard, trying to regain the feed. Sophia looks at Gunnar, panic rising. I said, what happened? Why did the feeds go dark? Gunnar asks. Gunnar glances at Sophia, his face grim. I'm trying to figure it out. I saw an explosion right before the feeds cut off. Give me a second. Sophia nods, her eyes fixed on the now black screens. Sophia taps a few more keys, then looks back at Gunnar. Eliana, I need a portal, please, Gunnar states sternly. Eliana nods, raising her hands. A faint glow surrounds her fingers as she concentrates. Of course, Gunnar. Just let me know where to send you. Gunnar provides the coordinates, and a shimmering portal materializes in the control room. Through the portal there is a dimly lit room. Ashley, a seasoned field agent, looks at you, urgency in her eyes. Sophia, you have point, Ashley says. Ashley nods sharply. All right, let's move. Gunnar watches as Ashley, Desiree, and Jules stack up behind Sophia and follows her through the portal. Sophia leads the way through the portal, scanning the area for any potential threats. The air is thick with tension, and the faint smell of smoke lingers. As you enter the room, you see a woman on the ground. Desiree calls out, her voice tight with concern. It's Blue Jay. Ashley moves to the far side of the room. Sophia, I need you to clear the bedroom. I'm with you. Sophia nods, moving towards the bedroom while covering Ashley's back. Jewel moves to Blue Jay and Desiree positions herself next to Sophia, prepared to enter the bedroom. The bedroom is empty, except for a gaping hole in the wall and clear signs of a struggle. Sophia scanned the area, noting the overturned furniture and scattered belongings. Looks like someone put up a fight in here. Ashley nods in agreement. Yeah, this doesn't look good. We need to find Cardinal and make sure she's okay. Suddenly, you hear an explosion in the next room. Sophia turns towards the sound when a blinding light fills the room. Sophia blinks, momentarily blinded by the bright light. What the hell was that? As her vision clears, Sophia sees a man entering the room with a large pistol aimed at Jewel. Before anyone can react, a large wolf bursts through the portal, severing the man's arm, holding the pistol and knocking him to the ground. Sophia stares in shock as the wolf stands protectively over Jewel. That was amazing. Who are you guys? Ashley looks at you, her expression serious. We're the agency. Sophia look at Ashley, your heart pounding. The agency? As in the special response team? Ashley nods. Yep, we're part of the SRF. Sophia gestures to the large, dire wolf. That's Alpha. He doesn't like people threatening his friends. Sophia nod, noticing the fierce protectiveness in Alpha's eyes. I won't touch anyone without permission, Alpha. Alpha gives a slight nod, acknowledging your words. Ashley turns to Alpha. Alpha, please, we need him alive. Desiree grabs Sophia's arm. We need to secure the hallway. Sophia look at Desiree, determination setting in. Right, let's secure the hallway. Desiree nods, and the two of move out. Meanwhile, Ashley kneels next to the man, who is laying on the ground in fear, and applies a tourniquet to his arm. Sophia notices Ashley tending to the injured man. Is he going to be okay? Ashley looks up at you. He'll be fine. He just needs some rest and medical attention. Jules' voice crackles over the headset. Blue Jay is not good. I need to extract now. Jules' voice is urgent over the comms. She took a hit to the stomach. We need to get her to a hospital ASAP. Gunnar's voice comes through the headset. Portal is clear, Jewel. Bring Blue Jay home. Alpha, bring our uninvited friend home. Jewel grabs Blue Jay and moves through the portal while Alpha grabs the man by the leg. The man screams in terror as Alpha drags him through the portal. Sophia watches, impressed by Alpha's strength and determination. Gunnar's voice comes through again. Ashley, I need to redirect the portal. You, Des, and Sophia figure out what happened to Cardinal.
Sophia look at Desiree. Let's check the security footage and see if we can find anything. Desiree nods. Good idea. Let's go to the control room. The portal closes behind you as you and Desiree make your way to the control room. You follow Desiree to the control room, looking at the security footage intently. Any luck finding Cardinal? Desiree quickly sifts through the footage, her fingers flying over the keyboard. The room is dim, illuminated only by the glow of the multiple monitors displaying different angles of the facility. Sophia and Desiree both watch as the screens flash with scenes of chaos, bodies moving, shadows shifting, and the unmistakable signs of battle. Desiree slows the footage down, focusing on one of the feeds that still seems to be intact. There, she says, pointing at the screen. That's Cardinal. You lean in closer. Cardinal, a tall figure with red hair and a stoic expression, is moving through the corridor. She seems to be chasing someone, her steps quick and purposeful. Suddenly, a figure darts into view. A woman, her face partially obscured. She's holding something small in her hand, and as she rounds a corner, Cardinal follows. A moment later, there's a flash of light, and the feed cuts out. Sophia exchanges a glance with Desiree. She set the explosion, you say, more as a statement than a question. Desiree nods, her expression hardening. It looks like it, but who is she? And where did they go after this? Sophia pull up another monitor, trying to find a different angle that might have caught what happened next. As Sophia sifts through the footage, you finally find something. One of the cameras catches Cardinal again, this time in a different part of the facility. She's limping, blood seeping through her dress, but she's still moving. The woman is gone. Desiree swears under her breath. She's hurt, but she's still alive. We need to get to her. Sophia nod, already on your feet. We'll need to go through the east wing. It's the fastest way. As you both make your way through the facility, Sophia, keep your weapons ready, senses on high alert. The walls around the team bear the scars of recent combat, bullet holes, scorch marks, and debris scattered across the floor. The air is thick with the smell of smoke and burnt electronics. Suddenly, your earpiece crackles to life. Gunner's voice comes through, tense. Sophia, Des, we've got a problem. The security systems just flagged an unauthorized breach in the lower levels. Someone's trying to access the main control room. Sophia exchanges a look with Desiree, the urgency of the situation sinking in. Whoever set that explosion might be trying to sabotage the entire facility, Sophia says. Desiree nods. We have to split up. One of us goes after Cardinal, and the other heads to the control room. You hesitate for only a moment before making a decision. Sophia, you go after Cardinal. I'll handle the breach in the control room, Desiree says. Desiree nods, already turning to move in the direction where Cardinal was last seen. Be careful, Sophia. Sophia, watch her disappear down the hallway before she turns and sprint toward the control room. The closer Sophia gets, the more she can hear. The distant hum of machinery, the echo of your footsteps on the metal floor, and the occasional flicker of lights overhead. Finally, she reached the control room door. It's ajar, the panel next to it flickering with an error message. She pressed her back against the wall, weapon at the ready, and slowly pushed the door open with her foot. Inside, the room is dark, save for the glow of the monitors lining the walls. She can hear someone moving inside, their movements careful and deliberate. She edged closer, her eyes adjusting to the dim light. As she approaches, she catches a glimpse of the intruder, a man dressed in black tactical gear, his face obscured by a mask. He's hunched over one of the consoles, typing rapidly. Without hesitation, she raises her weapon. Hands where I can see them now, she commands, her voice steady. The man freezes, then slowly raises his hands, stepping back from the console. But as he does, he hits something, a small device that starts blinking red. A bomb. Sophia's heart races. Step away from the console. But instead of complying, the man suddenly lunges towards her. She reacts instinctively, firing a shot that grazes his arm, forcing him to stumble back. He crashes into the console, and the device he was tampering with clatters to the floor. Sophia don't have time to think. She rushed forward, kicking the device away from the console and grabbing the man by the collar. He struggles, but she managed to wrestle him to the ground, pinning him down. Who sent you? She demands, pressing her knee into his back. He doesn't answer, but she can feel him trying to reach for something. A weapon, perhaps. She quickly pulls his arms behind his back, and cuff him with a set of restraints she carries. As she does, her earpiece crackles again. "Sophia, what's your status?" Gunnar asks, his voice tense. "I've got the intruder secured, but he's planted a device. I think it's a bomb." There's a brief pause before Gunnar responds. "Can you disarm it?" Sophia glances at the blinking device. "I can try, but I'm going to need some guidance." She drags the man to the corner of the room and secures him to a pipe before moving back to the device. Her hands move quickly, guided by Gunnar's calm voice in her ear. Each wire you cut feels like a lifetime, the tension palpable. Finally, the blinking stops, the device disarmed. Sophia lets out a breath she didn't realize she were holding. "Bomb disarmed, intruder secured." You inform Gunnar. Gunnar's voice is filled with relief. "Good work, Sophia. Get the intruder back here for interrogation. Desiree just found Cardinal. She's in bad shape, but she's getting her to medical. We'll regroup and figure out our next move." Sophia nods, even though Gunnar can't see her. "On my way." Sophia grabs the intruder by the collar and hauls him to his feet. His eyes are cold, but there's a flicker of something, fear perhaps, when he realizes how close he came to failing. Sophia pushes him forward, leading him out of the control room and back towards the central hub where Gunnar and the rest of the team are waiting. As Sophia walks, you can't help but feel a deep unease. This attack was too coordinated, too precise. Someone out there knows the agency's operations, and they're coming for you. But who? And why? One thing is certain. This isn't over. It's only just begun. As Sophia leads the captured intruder back towards the central hub, the realization dawns on her like a punch to the gut. Cardinal, the woman you saw in the footage, isn't just a target. She's Alexandra Kowalski, one of your own. Her code name was Cardinal, and she was kidnapped right under your noses, desperately trying to escape her captors. Sophia tightens her grip on the intruder, anger bubbling up inside her. How did this happen? How did one of your best get captured and dragged into this mess without anyone knowing? Sophia's mind races as she tries to piece together what must have happened. Gunnar's voice crackles through your earpiece again, snapping you out of your thoughts. "Sophia, any updates on that intruder? We're still trying to stabilize Cardinal. Desiree's with her now." There's a moment of stunned silence on the other end before Gunnar's voice comes through, filled with disbelief. "What? How is that possible? She's one of ours." "I don't know, but the footage we saw of her running, that was her trying to get away. Whoever took her, they knew exactly what they were doing." Sophia pushed the intruder forward, her mind spinning with questions. Alexandra Kowalski, aka Cardinal, wasn't just any agent. She was highly trained, resourceful, and damn near impossible to catch off guard. If someone managed to kidnap her, it meant you were dealing with professionals, people who knew the agency inside and out. Gunnar's voice turns cold, sharp. "We need answers. Get that guy back here. We'll make him talk." Sophia increased her pace, the need for answers driving her forward. The halls blur as she marched the intruder back to the central hub, where Gunnar, Ashley, and the others are already regrouping. As you enter the room, you see Desiree kneeling beside Alexandra, who is barely conscious, her face pale and bloodied. The medical team is working quickly, trying to stabilize her, but she looks bad, really bad. Ashley looks up as Sophia enters, her eyes hardening when she sees the intruder. "That him?" Sophia nods, shoving the man forward. "Yeah, he's the one who tried to sabotage the control room, and he knows something about what happened to Alexandra." Gunnar steps forward, his expression unreadable. "We need to find out who he's working for, and why they took Cardinal in the first place." The intruder stays silent, but you can see the defiance in his eyes. He's not going to talk easily, but you don't have time for games. Sophia steps forward, her voice low and dangerous. "You don't understand what you've done. Alexandra isn't just another agent. She's family. So either you start talking, or we find other ways to make you talk." The intruder meets your gaze, his jaw clenched. He knows you mean business, but he's been trained well. His silence is almost maddening. But before you can push further, Alexandra's voice, weak but determined, cuts through the tension. "Sophia, let me talk to him." Sophia turns, surprised to see her eyes open, her gaze fixed on the intruder. Desiree tries to protest, but Alexandra shakes her head. I know him. He'll talk to me. Reluctantly, Sophia steps back, giving Alexandra the space she needs. She struggles to sit up, wincing in pain, but her gaze never wavers. She locks eyes with the intruder, her voice steady despite the pain. You think you can break me after everything I've been through? You have no idea who you're dealing with. The intruder flinches, the first sign of weakness you've seen in him. Alexandra presses on. Tell me who sent you. Tell me what they want with me, or I promise you, you'll wish you never crossed me. There's a long, tense silence. Then finally the intruder breaks. His voice is low, almost a whisper. It's a group called the Black Dawn. They've been watching the agency for months, waiting for the right moment to strike. They want access to your intel, your resources, and they think Cardinal has the key. Sophia feels a chill run down her spine. The Black Dawn was a name that had only surfaced in whispers, an elusive group rumored to be made up of former operatives. They are very mysterious, who had gone rogue. If they were behind this, it meant the agency was in more danger than you'd realized. Gunnar steps forward, his expression grim. What's their next move? The intruder hesitates, but Alexandra's gaze hardens. Answer him. The man swallows hard, clearly rattled. They plan to hit your main headquarters. They're going to try and take over everything. I was supposed to disable the security systems to make it easier for them. Sophia's heart pounds as the gravity of the situation sinks in. If the Black Dawn takes over the headquarters, it would be catastrophic, not just for the agency, but for everything you've been fighting to protect. Gunnar doesn't waste a second. He turns to the team, his voice authoritative. We need to fortify our defenses and warn HQ immediately. Sophia, get Alexandra to safety. Desiree, Ashley, you're with me. We're going to stop the Black Dawn before they can make their move. Sophia nods, helping Alexandra to her feet. Despite her injuries, there's a fierce determination in her eyes, a reminder of why she was called Cardinal in the first place. As you guide her towards the portal that will take her to a secure location, she grips Sophia's arm, her voice firm. Sophia, don't let them win. We can't let the agency fall. Sophia, meet her gaze, the weight of her words heavy in your chest. We won't, I promise. With that, Ileana activates the portal, watching as Alexandra steps through, disappearing into the shimmering light. But as the portal closes, Sophia knows this is far from over. The Black Dawn has made their move, and now it's up to her and the rest of the agency to stop them. Failure isn't an option. The fight has only just begun. After sending Alexandra through the portal, you stand in the dimly lit control room, the adrenaline still coursing through your veins. The room is tense, filled with the hum of equipment and the heavy breathing of your teammates. Gunnar quickly gathers everyone around the central console, his face etched with urgency. Gunnar types furiously on the keyboard, pulling up files, reports, and any intel that might shed light on the Black Dawn. The captured intruder, still restrained, sits on a nearby chair, his eyes darting around, filled with a mix of fear and defiance. Gunnar's voice cuts through the air, sharp and demanding. We need everything we can get on the Black Dawn. Any mention, any hint of their activities, their operatives, or their plans. Ashley and Desiree nod, moving to different consoles and beginning their own search. You take a moment to steady your breath and join them, your fingers tapping away at the keys, searching through classified documents and encrypted files. The name Black Dawn had surfaced a few times in briefings, but details were always scarce. Now you're starting to understand why. As you sift through the data, a pattern begins to emerge. Fragmented reports of strange occurrences, rumors of shadowy figures, and unexplained events linked to the group. Finally, Desiree finds something significant. She leans over her console, her eyes widening as she reads. Gunnar, look at this. There's a report here about a series of attacks that happened years ago, just after the agency was formed. The targets were all high-ranking officials within our organization and a few key allied agencies. It was believed to be the work of rogue agents at the time, but she trails off, scrolling through their report, her brow furrowing. Gunnar leans in, his gaze intense. But what? Desiree looks up, her expression serious. But there were eyewitness accounts describing supernatural phenomena. People reported seeing things that shouldn't have been possible. Shadows that moved on their own, weapons appearing out of thin air, and agents who seemed to disappear into smoke. You feel a chill run down your spine. Supernatural elements weren't uncommon in your line of work, but hearing them associated with the Black Dawn adds a new layer of danger to the situation. Gunnar turns to the captured intruder, his eyes narrowing. Is that true? Are you using supernatural means to attack us? The intruder hesitates, clearly weighing his options. When he speaks, his voice is low and hoarse. You have no idea what the Black Dawn is capable of. You think you're prepared for everything, but you don't even know what's coming. Ashley steps forward, her voice cold and demanding. Then enlighten us. What is the Black Dawn planning? And what are these supernatural ties? The intruder looks around, then finally sighs as if resigning himself to his fate. The Black Dawn isn't just a group of rogue agents. It's an ancient order, dating back centuries. They've been in the shadows, manipulating events, guiding history from behind the scenes. And yes, they have supernatural ties. They've made pacts with things you can't even comprehend. Spirits, entities from other realms, beings of pure power. Gunnar's face darkens. What kind of beings? What have they unleashed? The intruder shakes his head. I don't know all the details, but I've seen things. Things that defy explanation. The Black Dawn's leaders, they have powers. They can control shadows, summon forces from beyond this world, and manipulate reality itself. The room falls silent as the weight of his words sinks in. If the Black Dawn truly has these abilities, then the agency is dealing with something far more dangerous than they'd anticipated. You turn back to the console, searching through more files, trying to find any mention of these supernatural pacts. After several tense moments, you come across a file marked Project Eclipse. As you open it, you see a series of notes, symbols, and ancient texts. It's all written in a language you don't recognize, but the images are clear, depictions of rituals, summoning circles, and dark figures performing strange ceremonies. Gunnar steps behind you, his eyes scanning the file. What is this? You shake your head, still trying to make sense of it. It looks like some kind of ritualistic document. I can't read the language, but the symbols, they're similar to those used in ancient summoning rituals. Desiree pulls up another file, her voice tight with tension. I found something too. There's a record here about a break-in at an old museum in Prague. Several artifacts were stolen. Artifacts that were said to have supernatural properties. Ashley steps closer, her eyes narrowing as she thinks. So, the Black Dawn has been collecting these artifacts, performing rituals and making pacts with otherworldly beings. They're preparing for something big. Gunnar nods, his expression grim. We need to find out where they're planning to strike next and what they intend to do with these powers. If they're targeting our headquarters, they could be planning to unleash these supernatural forces against us. The captured intruder, still seated and restrained, watches you all with a dark, knowing look. You can't stop them. The Black Dawn is everywhere. They have agents inside your organization, watching your every move. Even now, they're one step ahead. Gunnar turns to him, his face set with determination. We'll see about that. Desiree, Ashley, we need to secure every entry point to the headquarters and prepare for a possible attack. Sophia, keep digging through these files. We need to find a way to counter whatever they're planning to unleash. You nod, returning to the console, your mind racing with thoughts of ancient rituals and supernatural beings. You know that the agency has faced threats before, but this is something entirely different. If the Black Dawn truly has the power to manipulate reality and command forces from beyond, then you're not just fighting rogue agents, you're fighting the unknown. As you continue your search, a thought crosses your mind, one that sends a shiver down your spine. If the Black Dawn has agents inside the agency, then who can you trust? Gunnar's voice pulls you back to the present. Stay focused, everyone. We're not going to let the Black Dawn win. Not today. Not ever. You nod, steeling yourself for what's to come. The battle against the Black Dawn is just beginning, and you know that you'll need every ounce of strength, every bit of cunning, and every resource the agency has to fight this new and terrifying enemy. But as you look around at your team, you know one thing for certain. You're not going down without a fight. The room is tense, the air thick with the implications of the captured intruder's confession about the Black Dawn's supernatural ties. Everyone is working at a feverish pace, trying to connect the dots between the cryptic information they've just uncovered and the agency's current intel. You continue digging through the files, your mind racing with the potential threats the Black Dawn could pose with their newfound powers. Suddenly, a thought strikes you, a lead from a previous mission that might just be connected to all of this. You pull up the classified reports about a recent mission the agency had been heavily involved in, the theft of nuclear plans from a top-secret government facility. It had been a top priority for the agency to recover these plans, fearing they could fall into the wrong hands and be used to create weapons of mass destruction. For weeks, you and your team had been trying to track down the stolen documents, but every lead had gone cold, until now. You quickly scan through the files, looking for any mention of the Black Dawn. As you cross-reference the data with what you've just learned, a pattern starts to emerge. Desiree, noticing your focus, steps over to your console. "What did you find?" she asks, her voice tinged with curiosity and concern. You turn the screen so she can see. "Look at this. The theft of the nuclear plans. It coincides with the first sightings of the Black Dawn's operatives. I think they're connected." Desiree's eyes widen as she studies the report. "Are you saying the Black Dawn is after nuclear technology now?" Gunnar, hearing the exchange, steps over, his expression darkening. Why would a group with supernatural abilities be interested in nuclear plans? You lean back, piecing together the information. Think about it. The Black Dawn isn't just some rogue group. They have a long-term strategy. If they're making pacts with supernatural entities and collecting powerful artifacts, nuclear plans could be another piece of their arsenal. Maybe they're planning to combine these powers with advanced technology. Gunnar nods, his face grim. A hybrid approach, using supernatural forces alongside modern weaponry. That would make them nearly unstoppable. Ashley interjects, her voice tight with urgency. If the Black Dawn has the nuclear plans and supernatural abilities, they could be planning something catastrophic. They could hold entire nations hostage or worse, create a nuclear disaster amplified by supernatural forces. The room falls silent, the weight of the realization sinking in. This isn't just about stopping a rogue faction, it's about preventing a global catastrophe. Gunnar turns to you, his voice filled with resolve. We need to find out where they've taken those plans and what they're planning to do with them. If they've already started merging supernatural elements with nuclear technology, we're running out of time. You nod, your fingers flying over the keyboard as you pull up satellite images and global intel reports. You scan through data about suspicious activities around the globe, looking for any sign of a secret facility where the Black Dawn could be hiding the plans. Suddenly, a series of reports catch your eye. There have been strange energy readings coming from an abandoned Cold War-era bunker deep in the Siberian wilderness, a place that's been off the grid for decades. You enlarge the images on the screen, revealing a massive underground complex surrounded by dense forests and hidden from all but the most sophisticated satellite technology. Gunnar leans in, his eyes narrowing as he studies the images. That could be it. It's remote, secure, and out of sight. The perfect place to conduct experiments involving both nuclear technology and supernatural forces. Desiree quickly pulls up additional intel on the location, cross-referencing it with historical data. It looks like this bunker was originally used for nuclear research during the Cold War, but it was abandoned after a series of mysterious accidents. Accidents that were never fully explained. Ashley crosses her arms, her face set with determination. Sounds like the kind of place the Black Dawn would be interested in, and if they're there, we need to move fast. Gunnar turns to the team, his voice firm and commanding. All right, everyone, listen up. We have a location. Our mission is to infiltrate that bunker, recover the nuclear plans, and put a stop to whatever the Black Dawn is planning. We need to be ready for anything. Supernatural forces, advanced weaponry, or both. Gear up and let's move out. As the team begins to prepare, you glance back at the intruder, who's been silently watching the entire time. There's a flicker of something in his eyes. Fear, maybe, or resignation. Whatever it is, it confirms that you're on the right track. The Black Dawn is up to something far more dangerous than anyone could have anticipated, and it's up to you and your team to stop them. With your gear ready and the team assembled, You step through the portal, bracing yourself for what lies ahead. The cold, biting wind of Siberia hits you immediately as you emerge. The dense forest around you, thick with snow and shadows. You take a deep breath, your senses on high alert. This mission is more than just a retrieval operation. It's a race against time to stop a group that has proven it will do whatever it takes to achieve its dark goals. As you approach the entrance to the bunker, you can't shake the feeling that you're about to face something far beyond anything you've encountered before. The fate of countless lives, and possibly the world, hangs in the balance. With a nod from Gunner, the team moves in, ready to confront the full force of the Black Dawn and uncover the truth behind their sinister plans. The icy winds of Siberia cut through the trees, swirling snowflakes in the dense forest. The abandoned Cold War-era bunker looms ahead, a massive, foreboding structure buried beneath layers of ice and snow. As the teams move into position, every sense is heightened, and every muscle is taut with anticipation. The mission is simple: recover the stolen nuclear plans, stop the Black Dawn, and uncover the truth behind their mysterious and supernatural connections. But everyone knows missions are never simple. First team: Overwatch, Reagan aka Warbird and Desiree aka Night Owl. From their vantage point on a rocky outcrop, Reagan, or Warbird, sets up her sniper rifle, carefully scanning the terrain below. Next to her, Desiree, known as Night Owl, adjusts her binoculars, keeping a sharp eye on the bunker entrance. Their breath forms small clouds in the cold air as they focus on their targets. "We've got movement," Desiree whispers, spotting figures in dark tactical gear patrolling the perimeter. "Looks like 6 hostiles, heavily armed. No signs of supernatural activity yet, but keep your eyes peeled." Reagan nods, her voice steady over the comms. "Copy that. Engaging on your mark, Night Owl." Desiree marks the guards one by one, her voice calm and precise. "Take the one on the left. I'll take the 2 on the right. Wait for my signal. Now." 2 shots ring out almost simultaneously, silenced by their suppressors, and the guards drop silently into the snow. Reagan and Desiree remain vigilant, covering every angle from above, ready to eliminate any threats that emerge. Second team security: Chlora, aka Littlebird, and Alpha. At the extraction point, Chlora, or Littlebird, crouches in the underbrush, her hand resting on the fur of Alpha, the massive dire wolf by her side. Alpha's eyes glow with a fierce intensity, his ears pricked, and his nose sniffing the cold air for any sign of danger. Chlora whispers softly to him, keeping him calm but ready to spring into action. "Stay sharp, Alpha," she mutters, her own senses attuned to the forest around them. "We're counting on you to keep this place secure." Alpha gives a low growl in response, acknowledging her command. His eyes never leave the tree line, his instincts on high alert. The extraction zone is secure for now, but the tension in the air is palpable. Any moment, they could be facing a full-scale assault from the Black Dawn operatives, or worse. Third team assault force: Sophia aka Copper, Ashley aka Eagle, Trinity aka Mockingjay, and Alethea aka Falcon. The assault team moves silently through the snow, their breaths shallow, weapons at the ready. Sophia, or Copper, leads the way, her senses keen and her heart pounding in her chest. Behind her, Ashley, known as Eagle, watches the team's flanks, her eyes darting from shadow to shadow. Trinity, or Mockingjay, is close behind, her finger resting on the trigger of her rifle, while Alethea, or Falcon, brings up the rear, constantly checking their 6. As they approach the bunker entrance, they stop, crouching behind a low embankment. Sophia peers over the edge, her eyes narrowing at the sight of the heavy steel door, which is slightly ajar. She gestures to Ashley, who nods, signaling the team to move forward. The door creaks open as Sophia pushes it with the barrel of her rifle, revealing a dark, narrow corridor lit only by flickering dim overhead lights. The team moves in, their footsteps echoing softly in the confined space. Every sense is on high alert, the silence oppressive, broken only by the occasional drip of water from the ceiling. Ashley's voice is a whisper in the comms. "Stay tight. Watch for traps. We have no idea what kind of surprises the Black Dawn has left for us. They advance through the corridor, clearing room after room. The bunker is cold, its walls covered in frost and ice, a relic of a bygone era. As they move deeper, Sophia notices strange markings on the walls, symbols that resemble those they saw in the ritualistic documents back at the base. Her stomach tightens, a sense of unease settling in. Eagle, Sophia murmurs, gesturing to the symbols. Looks like they've been performing rituals here. We need to be ready for anything. Ashley nods, her jaw set. Everyone, stay sharp. We're in the lion's den now. They push on, the air growing colder and more oppressive the deeper they go. Finally, they reach a large chamber, dimly lit by flickering, green-tinted lights. In the center of the room is a massive control console surrounded by tall metal cabinets. On one of the screens, the stolen nuclear plans are displayed, alongside schematics and notes in a language none of them recognize. But before they can move forward, a low, guttural voice echoes through the chamber. Welcome, agents of the agency. I've been expecting you. The team freezes, their weapons trained on the darkness beyond the console. From the shadows steps a tall, imposing figure, cloaked in black, his eyes glowing with an unnatural light. He raises his hand, and suddenly, the air crackles with dark energy. The temperature drops even further, frost forming on the walls as a chilling wind swirls around the room. Sophia's heart races. Who are you? She demands, her voice steady despite the fear creeping up her spine. The figure chuckles, a deep, menacing sound that echoes through the chamber. I am Ultranacious, the Demon King. The Black Dawn serves me, and soon so will your world. With a wave of his hand, shadows begin to twist and writhe, forming into grotesque creatures with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp claws. They hiss and snarl, their bodies flickering like smoke and fire as they advance toward the team. Ashley barks orders. Engage! Take them down! Sophia fires first, her bullets tearing through the creatures, but they dissipate only to reform moments later, seemingly unfazed by conventional weapons. Trinity fires a burst from her rifle, the rounds passing through the shadowy forms without slowing them down. They're not going down, Trinity shouts, panic creeping into her voice. Ashley switches to incendiary rounds, her face set with determination. Try these! She fires and the rounds ignite on impact, engulfing the shadow creatures in flames. They shriek and dissolve into wisps of smoke, but more keep coming, summoned by the Demon King's dark power. Alethea moves to cover the rear, her rifle trained on the encroaching shadows. We need a way to stop him. If he keeps summoning these things, we'll be overwhelmed. Sophia racks her brain, trying to remember anything from the documents they'd seen, anything about how to stop a demon like Ultranacious. And then it hits her. The symbols on the walls. They're binding runes. We need to break his control over them. She scans the chamber, spotting a series of symbols carved into the stone walls, glowing faintly with dark energy. Falcon, Mockingjay, cover us. Eagle and I are going for the runes. Ashley nods, and they sprint towards the walls, dodging the swiping claws of the shadow creatures. Sophia reaches the first rune, pulling a knife from her belt. She begins to scrape at the rune, disrupting its shape. As she does, the shadows around her flicker and weaken, their forms growing less solid. Ashley does the same on the opposite wall, and as more runes are disrupted, the creatures' attacks grow less coordinated, their forms fading in and out of existence. Ultranacious roars in fury, his eyes blazing with rage. You think you can stop me? I am eternal. Sophia grits her teeth, moving to the next rune. You're not invincible, and neither are your minions. She disrupts another rune, and this time, the effect is immediate. The shadows nearest her collapse into nothingness, unable to reform. The chamber begins to shake, cracks forming in the walls as the dark energy starts to dissipate. But Ultranacious isn't finished. He raises both hands and the ground beneath the team's feet begins to tremble. Stone and metal twist and warp, forming into jagged spikes that shoot up from the floor, forcing them to dodge and weave to avoid being impaled. Ashley shouts over the chaos. Falcon, Mockingjay, take out the supports. We need to bring this place down. Trinity and Alethea nod, moving quickly to plant charges on the metal supports holding up the chamber. Sophia disrupts the last rune, and the remaining shadows dissipate, leaving Ultranacious standing alone, his power visibly weakened. Gunner's voice comes through the comms, tense but clear. Extraction is hot. We need to move now. As the team disrupts the last of the runes, the chamber around them shudders violently. The once solid walls now groan and crack under the strain of the collapsing structure. Ultranacious, visibly weakened, glares at the team with eyes blazing with fury and a hint of desperation. The flickering shadows of his summoned creatures are gone, but a new danger emerges. The sharp crack of gunfire echoes through the chamber. The team dives for cover as bullets ricochet off the stone and metal. Human operatives of the Black Dawn, heavily armed and clad in dark tactical gear, pour into the room from multiple entrances, their faces hidden behind balaclavas. These are no ordinary soldiers. They move with lethal precision, trained to kill. Ashley, or Eagle, shouts over the gunfire, her voice urgent. We're not done yet. They're trying to pin us down. Move! Move! Sophia, or Copper, takes point again, leading the team towards the exit with her rifle up, scanning for targets. She spots a group of Black Dawn operatives taking cover behind a series of old, rusted consoles. With a quick signal, she points them out to Trinity, or Mockingjay, and Alethea, or Falcon. Trinity nods and throws a flashbang grenade over the consoles. The grenade detonates with a blinding flash and deafening bang, disorienting the operatives. As they stumble, Sophia opens fire, her shots precise, dropping two before they can recover. Alethea picks off another with a well-placed shot to the chest. Ashley, meanwhile, takes aim at Ultranacious, who is trying to summon more shadows despite his weakened state. Not so fast, Demon King, she mutters, squeezing the trigger. Her incendiary round hits him in the shoulder, igniting his cloak. He lets out a guttural roar, stumbling back, his dark aura flickering wildly as the fire spreads. Gunner's voice crackles in Sophia's earpiece, urgent and commanding. Extraction portal is live, but you've got to move fast. More hostiles are on their way. Sophia nods, speaking quickly into the comms. Understood. We're moving. Falcon, Mockingjay, cover our retreat. Alethea and Trinity lay down suppressive fire as the team pushes forward, driving back the Black Dawn operatives. The sound of gunfire and shouting fills the air, the once quiet bunker now a chaotic battleground. Reagan, or Warbird, and Desiree, or Night Owl, keep their sniper rifles trained on the enemies below from their overwatch position on the high ground. Their shots ring out in quick succession, taking down any Black Dawn members who try to flank the team. Desiree's voice is calm and steady over the comms. You're clear on the left. We've got you covered. Clora, or Little Bird, at the extraction point with Alpha, hears the firefight escalating over the comms. She pats Alpha's side, her voice low. Stay ready, Alpha. We're going to have company soon. As the assault team pushes through the bunker, they encounter a group of Black Dawn operatives blocking the main corridor leading to the exit. The operatives have set up a defensive position, using overturned tables and debris as cover. One of them shouts, his voice filled with rage. You'll never leave here alive, agents. The Black Dawn will rise and your world will fall. Sophia quickly assesses the situation, her mind racing. They're outnumbered and outgunned, but she spots a weak point in the enemy's line, a cluster of exposed gas canisters near the barricade. She signals Ashley. Eagle, those canisters! They're our way out. Ashley nods, aiming her rifle. Everyone, get down! She fires a single shot, hitting one of the canisters. There's a moment of silence, then a massive explosion as the gas ignites, sending a fireball through the corridor. Black Dawn operatives are thrown back by the blast, their defensive position in ruins. The team takes advantage of the chaos, sprinting down the hallway as debris rains down around them. They reach the final corridor, the portal shimmering at the end, a swirling vortex of light and energy. But more Black Dawn operatives rush in from side passages, firing wildly. Trinity shouts, her voice urgent. We're almost there! Cover each other and keep moving! The team forms a defensive line, firing back at the advancing enemies. Sophia takes down two operatives with quick, controlled bursts, while Alethea drops another with a precise headshot. Trinity lays down suppressive fire, keeping the enemy at bay long enough for Ashley to plant a small explosive charge on a support column. Ashley shouts, "Charge set! Fall back to the portal!" The team moves as one, firing and retreating, making their way to the portal. Chlora's voice comes through the comms. "Extraction zone is clear, but you need to hurry." Alpha, sensing the urgency, begins to growl, his eyes fixed on the entrance of the bunker, ready to defend his teammates. Chlora glances at him, her grip tightening on her weapon. "Stay with me, Alpha. We'll get them out of here." As Sophia and the team reach the portal, Ashley triggers the explosive charge. The support column collapses, bringing down part of the bunker's ceiling, blocking the path of the Black Dawn operatives and buying the team precious seconds. They dive through the portal just as the debris crashes down, sealing the bunker behind them. On the other side, they land in the snowy forest, breathless but relieved. Reagan and Desiree quickly descend from their high ground, covering the area for any pursuing threats. Chlora moves to secure the portal, her eyes scanning for any signs of the enemy. Alpha stands beside her, his fur bristling, ready to pounce at the slightest hint of danger. Gunnar appears through the shimmering portal, quickly assessing the team. His eyes lock on Ashley. "Did you get it?" Ashley nods, holding up a small encrypted drive. "We got the plans, and we found out who's behind this. Ultranacious, some kind of demon king. He's using the Black Dawn to gain power, combining supernatural forces with modern weaponry. This isn't just about nuclear plans anymore." Gunnar's face darkens. "Then we've got a bigger fight on our hands than we thought. We need to get this intel back to HQ, figure out our next move. The Black Dawn and Ultranacious aren't going to stop, and neither can we." The team gathers around, catching their breath, each member realizing the gravity of what they've just uncovered. The Black Dawn isn't just a rogue faction, it's a dark force, led by a powerful demon, with ambitions that go far beyond anything the agency has faced before. As they regroup and prepare to leave, Sophia glances back at the now sealed bunker, a cold determination settling in her chest. The fight against the Black Dawn and Ultranacious is far from over, but they've made it out alive, and they've got the intel they need to take the next step. The battle has just begun. Back at the agency's headquarters, the air is thick with tension. The atmosphere buzzes with the hum of computers, the shuffle of papers, and the distant echo of hurried footsteps. In the control room, Karina, a master assassin who just returned from a mission, moves with a lethal grace, her eyes constantly scanning the monitors for any signs of trouble. Beside her, Bianca, a member of the agency's pack, watches the screens with intense focus, her senses heightened and ready for anything. But something feels off. Since their return from the mission, there's been an uneasiness among the personnel, a feeling that something is wrong. The room is dimly lit, the only light coming from the monitors and the occasional flicker of fluorescent bulbs overhead. Karina senses it too, her instincts screaming at her. She steps closer to Bianca, her voice low. "Something isn't right. Have you noticed anything strange?" Bianca nods, her eyes narrowing. "Yeah, it's been too quiet. And where's Alexandra? She was supposed to be here when we got back." Before Karina can respond, an alarm blares through the control room, red lights flashing across the panels. A loud crash sounds from down the hall, followed by the unmistakable roar of a beast. The monitors flash with chaotic images, prisoners being freed, guards being attacked, and the security systems being sabotaged. Karina grabs her earpiece, her voice sharp. "Control, what's happening? Report." Static fills the line, then a panicked voice breaks through. "It's Alexandra. She's attacking the control room. She's freeing the prisoners. We can't—" The line goes dead, and Karina's eyes widen in realization. That's not Alexandra. It's the changeling. Bianca's eyes flash with anger, and she bares her teeth, her wolf instincts flaring. "That creature's trying to take over the facility. We have to stop it." They sprint down the hallway towards the control room, weapons drawn. The sounds of battle grow louder with every step. Shouts, gunfire, and the growls of the freed prisoners echo through the halls. As they burst through the doors of the control room, they're met with chaos. The room is a battlefield. Guards lie injured or worse on the floor, and freed prisoners, along with a few rogue operatives, are fighting the remaining personnel. In the center of it all stands the changeling, its form shifting and twisting, mimicking the shape of Alexandra perfectly. It moves with unnatural speed and strength, tearing through anyone in its path. Karina doesn't hesitate. She lunges at the changeling with a flurry of precise strikes, her blades flashing in the dim light. The changeling dodges and weaves, countering with strikes of its own, its body morphing and elongating as it moves. Bianca circles around, her claws extended, ready to pounce. The changeling hisses, its voice a distorted version of Alexandra's. You think you can stop me? I've already weakened your defenses. Soon Ultranetius Eternus will control this entire facility, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Karina sneers, ducking under a wild swing and delivering a powerful kick to the changeling's side. We'll see about that. The fight intensifies, the control room becoming a blur of movement. Bianca leaps at the changeling, slashing with her claws, but the creature dodges and throws her across the room. She lands with a grunt, quickly rolling to her feet, her eyes blazing with fury. Karina presses the attack, her movements swift and deadly. She manages to land a few cuts on the changeling, but the creature's wounds heal almost instantly, its shape constantly shifting. The changeling snarls, its patience wearing thin. With a screech, it shifts into its true form. A grotesque creature with elongated limbs, black, oily skin, and eyes that glow with an unnatural light. It lets out a bone-chilling howl, the sound reverberating through the walls. The change in form catches Karina and Bianca off guard, and the changeling uses the momentary distraction to lash out, sending them both crashing into the control panels. As they struggle to regain their footing, the changeling charges toward the main console, its intent clear. If it gains control of the facility's systems, it could unleash a nightmare upon the agency and allow Ultranatius to teleport his forces directly inside. But before the changeling can reach the console, the control room's doors burst open again. Gunnar and the assault team rush in, weapons raised and ready. Gunnar's eyes lock onto the changeling, and his voice is filled with authority. Stand down. You're not taking this facility. The changeling hisses, its eyes narrowing as it sees Gunnar in the heavily armed team. Realizing it's outnumbered, it lets out a guttural snarl. If I can't control this facility, then I'll make sure none of you leave alive. It lunges at Gunnar with a speed that catches everyone off guard, its claws aiming for his throat. Time seems to slow as the team reacts, but it's Trinity, or Mocking Jay, who moves first. Without hesitation, she throws herself between Gunnar and the changeling, taking the full force of the attack. The changeling's claws tear into her, and she cries out in pain. But she doesn't falter. She grabs hold of the changeling, using every ounce of strength to hold it back. Gunnar shouts in horror, "Trinity, no!" The changeling, realizing it's being restrained, thrashes wildly, its form shifting and twisting as it tries to break free. But Trinity holds on, her face contorted in pain and determination. "Get out of here!" she gasps, her voice barely a whisper. "I've got this." Ashley and Sophia move to help, but Trinity shakes her head, her eyes locking with Gunnar's. "Go! Now! Get everyone out!" Tears fill Gunnar's eyes as he understands what Trinity is doing. "We're not leaving you." But Trinity gives him a small, sad smile. "It's okay, Gunnar. This is what I was meant for. Go, save the others." With a final, desperate effort, she pushes the changeling back towards the main console, her body trembling with exertion. "Get the hell out of here!" she screams, her voice filled with defiance. Realizing there's no other choice, Gunnar nods, choking back his grief. "Team, fall back, now!" As the team rushes out of the control room, Bianca and Karina among them, the changeling lets out a furious roar, realizing it's about to be thwarted. It changes tactics, deciding to self-destruct and take everyone with it. The room fills with a blinding light as the changeling begins to glow, its body swelling with unstable energy. But Trinity, with her last ounce of strength, slams her fist down on the emergency lockdown button on the console, sealing the control room's blast doors. She turns to face the changeling, her face calm, accepting her fate. Not today, you son of a bitch! The changeling's body explodes in a brilliant flash of light, the shockwaves shaking the entire facility. The blast doors hold, containing the explosion within the control room. Outside, the team is thrown to the ground by the force of the blast. As the dust settles, the facility falls eerily silent. The team slowly gets to their feet, their faces etched with shock and sorrow. Gunnar stands, his eyes fixed on the now sealed control room, his heart heavy with the loss of Trinity. Ashley places a hand on his shoulder, her voice breaking. She saved us all. Gunnar nods, his voice a whisper. She was one of the best. We'll never forget her. Bianca, her eyes wet with tears, looks at the sealed doors, her voice filled with anger and grief. We're going to make them pay for this. For Trinity. For everyone. Karina nods, her face set with determination. We'll stop Ultranacious. We'll stop the Black Dawn, no matter what it takes. As they regroup, Gunnar takes a deep breath, wiping away his tears. We've lost a lot today, but we can't let it be in vain. We have to finish what we started. For Trinity. For everyone who's counting on us. The team nods, their resolve strengthened by their loss. They know the fight against Ultranacious and the Black Dawn is far from over, but they're more determined than ever to see it through to the end. Together, they'll honor Trinity's sacrifice and do whatever it takes to protect the agency and the world from the darkness that threatens to consume them all. As they move out, their hearts heavy but their spirits unbroken, they know one thing for certain. They won't stop fighting. Not now, not ever. The battle continues, and they'll face it head-on, just like Trinity would have wanted. Days turned to weeks at the agency's headquarters. The scars of the recent battle were still visible, both in the damaged sections of the facility and in the hearts of those who survived. Trinity's sacrifice weighed heavily on everyone. She was not just a skilled operative, but a beloved teammate and friend. The loss of her presence left a void that seemed impossible to fill. With the control room still being repaired and the facility's defenses strengthened, the team focused on rebuilding and finding answers. Karina, Bianca, and the others worked tirelessly, driven by a shared determination to ensure Trinity's death wasn't in vain. The corridors, once bustling with camaraderie and lighthearted banter, were now filled with quiet conversations and a lingering sense of loss. The memorial set up for Trinity in the main hall was a constant reminder of the price they'd paid. Flowers, candles, and mementos from her fellow agents surrounded her photograph. Each day, team members would stop by to pay their respects, sharing stories and memories that kept her spirit alive. Without any remains to recover after the changeling's self-destruction, her absence felt even more surreal. It was as if she had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the echoes of her bravery and sacrifice. Gunnar and Ashley especially found it difficult to move on, their guilt and grief palpable every time they passed her memorial. They'd lost teammates before, but this was different. It felt like a piece of the agency's very soul had been ripped away. Meanwhile, Reagan and Sophia focused their efforts on unraveling the mystery of Alexandra's disappearance. They knew that the Alexandra they had encountered was a changeling, a supernatural spy who had infiltrated their ranks. The real Alexandra was still out there somewhere, likely in the clutches of Ultranacious. In the data center, Reagan and Sophia sat side by side, surrounded by screens filled with surveillance footage, reports, and intercepted communications. The hum of computers and the soft glow of the monitors provided a stark contrast to the grim determination on their faces. Reagan's eyes were sharp and focused as she sifted through data, her sniper instincts honed for this kind of meticulous work. Sophia leaned forward, tapping a series of keys to bring up a set of encrypted files they had recently decrypted. These documents were pulled from the changeling's personal effects. They're heavily coded, but I think they might have something about Alexandra's location. Reagan nodded, her voice calm but tense. Let's see if we can piece it together. We've been going in circles for days. We need a break in this case. The two of them worked in silence for several hours, cross-referencing names, locations, and timestamps, trying to build a timeline of events that might point them in the right direction. Sophia's mind raced with every connection they made, but nothing seemed to add up. It was as if Alexandra had vanished without a trace. Finally, Reagan pulled up an obscure file buried deep within the recovered data. It was a report from several months ago detailing a series of mysterious shipments to an old fortress in Eastern Europe. The fortress was ancient, nearly a ruin, but the records indicated it had recently been fortified and was being used for special operations by an unknown group. The dates matched up with the last known sighting of Alexandra before the changeling took her place. Reagan tapped the screen, her voice barely above a whisper. Look at this. These shipments, ammunition, specialized equipment, even medical supplies. They've been going to this fortress for months, and it's all tied to the Black Dawn. Sophia's eyes widened as she read through the report, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and fear. You think this could be it? Where they're keeping her? Reagan nodded slowly, her expression grim. It fits. If the Black Dawn took Alexandra, they'd need a secure location to hold her. And with all this gear being sent there, it's like they're preparing for something big. Sophia leaned back in her chair, her mind racing. If they have her there, she could be a prisoner. Or worse, we need to tell Gunnar. We need to move now. They quickly compiled their findings and headed to Gunnar's office, where he and Ashley were already discussing the next steps for the agency. The tension in the room was palpable as Reagan and Sophia laid out their discovery, pointing to the fortress in Eastern Europe as the most likely location for Alexandra's imprisonment. Gunnar listened carefully, his brow furrowed in concentration. When they finished, he sat back in his chair, his expression thoughtful. This fortress, it's not just some random hideout. It's strategically located, hard to access, and easy to defend. If the Black Dawn has been fortifying it, they're expecting something or someone to come after them. Ashley crossed her arms, her face set with determination. We can't leave Alexandra there. If she's still alive, we have to get her out. And if the Black Dawn is planning something, we need to know what it is. Gunnar nodded, his eyes narrowing. Agreed. We'll put together a strike team. Reagan, Sophia, you've done good work. You'll be part of this mission. Karina and Bianca will join as well. We need our best on this. As they began to make preparations for the mission, there was a sense of urgency in the air. The thought of Alexandra being held captive by Ultranacious was unbearable, and the team was determined to bring her home. But beneath that determination was also a lingering fear. The fear of what else they might find at that fortress, and the dark secrets the Black Dawn had yet to reveal. In the days that followed, the team trained relentlessly, their minds focused on the mission ahead. Weapons were cleaned and checked, tactical plans were reviewed and revised, and every possible scenario was considered. This wasn't just a rescue mission, it was a chance to strike back at the Black Dawn and bring some semblance of justice for Trinity's sacrifice. Finally, the day arrived. The team gathered at the portal, their faces grim and determined. Gunnar stood before them, his expression serious as he addressed the group. This is it. We're going to get Alexandra back, and we're going to make the Black Dawn pay for everything they've done. Stay sharp, stay focused, and watch each other's backs. We move out in 5. As the portal activated, the swirling light reflecting in their eyes, the team prepared to step into the unknown. The fortress in Eastern Europe awaited, and with it, the hope of finding Alexandra alive and stopping the Black Dawn once and for all. But as they crossed through the portal, they knew one thing for certain: whatever awaited them on the other side, they would face it together. The team stands gathered in the preparation chamber, the air tense with anticipation. The portal hums with a low, ominous energy, swirling with blue and silver light, waiting to transport them to the fortress in Eastern Europe, where they believe Alexandra is being held. Eliana Vale, the elf mage, steps forward, her robes flowing around her like a cascade of moonlight. Her face is serious, her eyes distant, as if listening to something beyond this world. Eliana looks at Gunnar, her expression filled with an ancient sorrow. I cannot take part in this battle. I am forbidden by the old laws that govern my kind. Gunnar, standing tall with a determined look, nods, understanding the restrictions she faces. We'll manage. We've got a job to do. Eliana's gaze softens slightly as she looks at the team assembled before her. Clora, the extraction security, Desiree, the Overwatch sniper, Ashley, the team leader, Jewel, the team medic, and Gunnar, the site commander. Before you go, have your pack step forth and present their silver daggers. Each member of the team steps forward, drawing their silver daggers from their belts. They hold them out, their blades glinting in the dim light. The silver is a rare weapon against the dark forces they know they might face. Eliana raises her hands and a soft, ethereal glow emanates from her fingertips, enveloping each dagger in a shimmering light. She speaks in a language older than time, her words resonating with a deep magical power. The daggers pulse with a new energy, the silver now glowing with an enchanted aura. As she completes the enchantment, Eliana's voice is clear and strong. These daggers will not kill a demon, but they will send them back to the abyss from whence they came. It will take them a day or two to reappear. Use them wisely. Gunnar sheathes his dagger, his face set with determination. We'll use every advantage we have. Thank you, Eliana. Eliana nods, stepping back. May the spirits guide you and protect you. I will meet you on the other side of the portal to assist where I can. With their daggers enchanted and weapons ready, the team steps toward the portal. One by one, they disappear into the swirling light, the cold air of the chamber replaced by the frigid winds of the fortress in Eastern Europe. As the team emerges on the other side of the portal, they find themselves on a narrow path leading to the ancient fortress. The structure is imposing, its dark stone walls towering above them, flanked by dense forests on all sides. Snow falls lightly, and the air is bitterly cold, each breath a puff of mist in the icy air. The fortress seems to pulse with a malevolent energy, the shadows around it shifting and twisting as if alive. Gunnar signals for the team to move forward. Stay close, stay sharp. We don't know what we're walking into. They advance cautiously, their senses on high alert. As they approach the main gate, Desiree, or Night Owl, finds a vantage point on a nearby hill, setting up her sniper rifle to provide overwatch. Clora, or Little Bird, takes a position near the rear to secure the extraction point, her eyes scanning the forest for any signs of movement. Ashley, or Eagle, leads the assault team, with Sophia, or Copper, at her side. Jewel, the team medic, follows closely, her medical kit slung over her shoulder, ready for anything. Gunnar brings up the rear, his eyes constantly moving, searching for threats. They make their way into the fortress through a side entrance, moving quickly and quietly through the dark, narrow corridors. The air is thick with the smell of damp stone and the faint scent of sulfur, a telltale sign of demonic presence. Suddenly, a low growl echoes through the hall, followed by the sound of heavy footsteps. Gunnar raises his hand, signaling the team to stop. They press against the walls, weapons ready, as a group of demonic entities rounds the corner ahead of them. The creatures are grotesque, their skin black and oily, their eyes glowing with an unnatural red light. Ashley gives a signal, and the team engages. Gunfire erupts, the sound deafening in the enclosed space. The demons roar, their bodies twisting and writhing as bullets tear through them. Sophia slashes with her enchanted dagger, the blade glowing as it cuts through the air, sending one of the demons back to hell in a burst of light. Jewel moves quickly, dodging a swipe from a demon's claw, and drives her dagger into its chest. The creature howls as it disintegrates into a cloud of black smoke. Gunnar fires his rifle, dropping another demon before it can reach him. But the demons keep coming, pouring in from all sides, their numbers seemingly endless. Desiree provides cover from above, picking off demons with precise shots. But even her skills can't stem the tide. The team fights with everything they have, their movements coordinated and deadly, but they're slowly being pushed back. Gunnar shouts over the chaos, "We need to get to Alexandra. Keep pushing forward." They press on, fighting their way through the onslaught of demons. Every step is a struggle, every swing of a dagger or pull of a trigger, a desperate attempt to break through. As they reach the inner sanctum of the fortress, they find Alexandra chained to a wall, barely conscious. Her body is bruised and battered, her clothes torn, and her eyes glazed with pain and exhaustion. Jewel rushes to her side, her medical instincts kicking in. "Hang on, Alexandra. We're getting you out of here." She quickly assesses Alexandra's condition, pulling out supplies from her kit and starting to treat her wounds. Gunnar and Ashley stand guard, their eyes scanning the room for any more threats. But as Jewel works, a shadow falls over them. One of the demons, larger and more powerful than the rest, steps forward, its eyes blazing with fury. It lunges at Desiree, who is caught off guard, her attention focused on covering the team. The demon's claws slash through her leg, and she screams in pain, collapsing to the ground. Gunner's voice is filled with panic. Desiree! Jules' head snaps up at the sound of Desiree's scream. She glances between Alexandra and Desiree, torn. I have to stabilize her first. You keep them off us. Ashley and Sophia step up, their daggers flashing as they fend off the demons. Gunner moves to Desiree's side, firing his rifle at the advancing demons. Desiree's face is pale, her leg a bloody mess. Jewel works quickly, pulling out a tourniquet and wrapping it around Desiree's thigh, just above the knee. She tightens it, trying to stem the bleeding, but the damage is severe. Jewel looks up, her voice urgent. We need to amputate. It's the only way to save her. Gunner's face is grim as he nods, understanding the gravity of the situation. Do it. Jewel moves with practiced precision, her hands steady despite the chaos around them. She pulls out a surgical saw from her kit, positioning it just above Desiree's knee. Desiree grits her teeth, her face contorted in pain as Jewel begins the amputation. Gunner and Ashley fend off the demons, their attacks growing more frantic as they try to protect their fallen teammate. Suddenly, a blinding light fills the room. Eliana steps through the portal, her hands glowing with magic. She raises her arms and a wave of energy bursts forth, pushing the demons back and creating a protective barrier around the team. Eliana's voice is calm and commanding. Hurry! I can't hold this barrier forever. Jewel works faster, her movements precise and controlled. She finishes the amputation and quickly wraps Desiree's stump in bandages, securing it tightly to stop the bleeding. Desiree's face is pale and sweaty, but she nods weakly, her eyes filled with gratitude. Gunner helps Desiree to her feet, supporting her weight. We need to move. Now! The team regroups, Alexandra leaning heavily on Ashley and Sophia as they make their way back to the portal. Eliana's barrier flickers and fades, and the demons surge forward again, their roars filling the air. Just as they reach the portal, a massive demon, even larger than the rest, bursts through the doorway, its eyes blazing with an unholy fire. It roars and lunges at Gunner, its claws outstretched, aiming for his throat. Time seems to slow as Gunner raises his rifle, but he knows he won't make it in time. The demon is too fast, too powerful. In that moment, Jewel leaps in front of Gunner, her silver dagger raised. The demon's claws tear into her, but she plunges the dagger into its chest. The creature howls as the enchanted blade sends it back to hell, but not before it slashes Jewel across the chest. She collapses to the ground, blood pouring from her wounds. The team is momentarily paralyzed by the sight of Jewel crumpling to the ground, her blood staining the cold stone floor of the fortress. A stunned silence falls over them, broken only by the growls and hisses of the demons still prowling around. Waiting to strike, Gunner's heart hammers in his chest as he rushes to Jewel's side, dropping to his knees to check her pulse. Before he can even begin to assess her wounds, a deep, resonant howl pierces through the air. The sound is powerful and commanding, echoing through the corridors of the fortress. All eyes turn toward the portal, and out of the swirling vortex of light step Beta, the gray wolf, Alpha, the dire wolf, and their 2-year-old pup, Omega, a unique blend of both breeds, half dire wolf, half gray wolf, with a gleam of fierce intelligence in his eyes. The wolf's sudden arrival sends a ripple of hope through the beleaguered team. With no hesitation, the trio launches into the fray, their movements a blur of fur and fangs. Beta, lean and fast, weaves through the ranks of demons, tearing into them with her sharp teeth, her agility unmatched. Alpha, a massive, magical beast, charges headlong into the unholy spawn, his jaws snapping with bone-crushing force. Every demon he bites or claws is thrown back, disintegrating into nothingness with each strike. Omega, the pup, though smaller, fights with the fervor and spirit of both his parents, his youthful energy bolstering his strength as he pounces on the nearest demon, tearing at it with his powerful jaws. The wolves' ferocity shifts the tide of battle almost instantly. Where the team had been on the defensive, they now find an opening to rally. Ashley, seeing the opportunity, grabs Alexandra by the arm and pulls her towards the portal. Alexandra, barely conscious and staggering from her injuries, leans heavily on Ashley, her steps unsteady but determined. Karina, the master assassin, moves with deadly grace through the chaos. She spots Jules' fallen dagger and snatches it up, flipping it expertly in her hand before plunging into the melee. Her movements are fluid and precise, a dance of death as she uses the enchanted silver dagger to dispatch one demon after another. Each strike sends a demon back to the hellish abyss, a burst of light marking their banishment. Her eyes are cold and focused, every muscle honed to perfection, as she carves a path through the demonic horde. Gunnar and the others work quickly to stabilize Jewel, who is losing blood fast. Bianca, still reeling from the shock, snaps into action, pulling out bandages and applying pressure to Jewel's wounds. Desiree, despite her recent amputation and the pain radiating through her leg, grits her teeth and helps to hold Jewel steady, her face pale but resolute. "Stay with us, Jewel," Gunnar urges, his voice tight with emotion. "We're not losing anyone else today." Jewel's eyes flutter open, her breathing ragged but determined. She manages a weak nod, her fingers curling around Gunnar's arm in a silent gesture of trust. The battle rages around them, but the wolves are a force of nature. Beta leaps onto a demon, ripping into its throat with a savage snarl. Alpha barrels through another group, his immense size and strength sending them flying. Omega, still young but no less fierce, takes down a demon twice his size with a growl, his fur bristling as he defends his pack and his human companions. As Ashley drags Alexandra closer to the portal, she shouts over her shoulder, her voice cutting through the noise. "Gunnar, we need to get out of here now!" Gunnar nods, knowing she's right. With the immediate threat being handled by the wolves and Karina, he and the others lift Jewel carefully, making their way towards the portal as fast as they can, while ensuring her safety. Karina continues her deadly dance, her dagger flashing with each precise strike, dispatching the demons that still swarm around. She moves like a shadow, her presence almost otherworldly as she cuts down one creature after another. The demons, sensing the shift in battle, grow more frantic, their attacks more desperate, but they can't withstand the combined force of the wolves and Karina's relentless assault. Gunnar leads the way towards the portal, supporting Jewel with one arm while keeping his rifle ready in the other. Desiree, despite her injury, hobbles alongside them, refusing to slow down. She knows every second counts, and every step is a victory over the pain coursing through her body. Bianca covers their rear, her eyes scanning the area for any remaining threats. Just as they reach the portal, a final massive demon emerges from the shadows, a towering beast with blazing red eyes and claws like razors. It roars, the sound shaking the very walls of the fortress, and charges directly at Gunnar and the team, intent on stopping them from escaping. Karina, seeing the imminent threat, throws herself between the demon and the team, her dagger at the ready. She dodges its first swipe, rolling to the side and coming up with a quick slash across its chest. The demon howls in pain but doesn't falter, swinging its massive arm towards her. Before it can strike, Beta and Alpha leap at the demon from either side, their powerful jaws latching onto its arms. Omega follows suit, biting into its leg with a fierce growl. The demon thrashes, trying to shake them off, but the wolves hold firm, their combined strength enough to keep it pinned down. Ashley and Sophia help Alexandra through the portal, and Gunnar turns back to see Karina land the final blow with Jewel's dagger, plunging it into the demon's chest. The creature lets out a final, deafening roar as it dissolves into smoke, banished back to the hell from which it came. With the last of the demons vanquished, Karina grabs Jewel's dagger from the dissipating mist and sprints towards the portal. "Go! Go!" she yells. "Get everyone through!" Gunnar, Ashley, Desiree, Bianca, and Sophia rush through the portal, carrying Jewel and supporting each other. Karina is the last to go, holding Jewel's dagger tightly as she leaps through, the wolves following close behind, their forms blurred as they pass into the swirling light. The team emerges back at the agency headquarters, breathless and battered, but alive. The portal closes behind them, sealing off the fortress and the horrors they left behind. Medical personnel rush forward, taking Jewel and Desiree to the infirmary, where doctors immediately begin treating their wounds. Gunnar stands at the center of the room, his chest heaving as he catches his breath. He looks around at his team, all of them exhausted but alive, and feels a surge of relief and gratitude. They had faced unimaginable horrors, and though the cost was high, they had survived. Ashley approaches, her face pale but resolute. "We did it. We got Alexandra back. And Jewel, she'll make it. She's tough." Gunnar nods, his gaze shifting to the closed portal, the memories of the fierce battle still fresh in his mind. "We did it," he agrees, his voice filled with determination. "But this isn't over. Ultranacious is still out there, and the Black Dawn won't stop. We need to be ready for whatever comes next." The team gathers around, each of them feeling the weight of the battle they just fought and the battles still to come. They know that they are stronger together and that whatever challenges lie ahead, they will face them as a pack. 2 weeks pass, and the atmosphere at the agency's headquarters is tense but focused. The team has been hard at work rebuilding, refocusing, and preparing for whatever comes next. Gunnar has been deep in thought, considering Eliana's information about the Starlight Gem and what it could mean for their battle against Ultranacious. Eliana approaches Gunnar early one morning, her expression serious but calm. Her presence always brings a sense of quiet strength, a reminder of the ancient wisdom she carries. She finds him in his office, poring over maps and reports. "Gunnar," Eliana says softly, her voice carrying a note of urgency. "I have been meditating and consulting the ancient texts of my realm. I believe I can create a portal to send you directly to the location of the Starlight Gem. But there is a condition: you must go alone. This journey is one that only you can undertake. The path to the gem requires the spirit and resolve of a single warrior. It is a test as much as a mission." Gunnar looks up, surprise flickering in his eyes. He has always been a man of action, used to leading his team into battle, never one to go alone. But he knows Eliana's words carry weight. If she says this is a journey he must take alone, then he trusts her judgment. He nods, determination settling in his features. "Understood, Eliana. If that's what it takes, I'll do it," Gunnar replies. He pauses for a moment, considering the implications of leaving his team behind. "I need to inform the others. They need to know what to do while I'm gone." Eliana nods, her eyes filled with a mixture of concern and support. "I will prepare the portal. When you are ready, come to the ritual chamber." Gunnar stands and heads to the briefing room, where the remaining members of the agency are gathered. They've been waiting for orders, knowing something big is coming. As he enters, the room falls silent, all eyes turning to him. He takes a deep breath, looking at each of them in turn. "I have some news," Gunnar begins, his voice steady but somber. "Eliana has found a way to send me to the location of the Starlight Gem, but I have to go alone. This is a journey that I must undertake by myself. While I'm gone, I have orders for each of you." He turns to Alex, his expression serious. "Alex, you and Karina will continue to hunt down and eliminate any Black Dawn operatives you find. But understand this: as far as the world is concerned, the agency is dead. You're no longer agents. You operate under the radar, without any official support. This mission is now a ghost operation. Keep it quiet, keep it clean, and keep it off the books." Alex nods, understanding the gravity of the situation. "We'll do what we have to, Gunnar. The Black Dawn won't know what hit them." Karina, standing beside Alex, gives a firm nod, her eyes glinting with determination. "We'll keep the fight going. They won't be able to hide from us." Gunnar then turns to Clora. "Clora, you'll work with Eliana on her realm. Study the supernatural, learn everything you can. If there are other weapons or artifacts that can help us, we need to know about them. This knowledge could be the key to our survival and victory." Clora's face lights up with a hint of excitement and determination. "I've always wanted to learn more about the realms beyond ours. I'll do everything I can to find more ways to fight back." Next, Gunnar looks at Bianca, his voice softer but still firm. "Bianca, you'll be working at the training facility, rebuilding and supporting the new recruits. We need fresh blood, people who can step up if and when the time comes. Your experience will be invaluable in shaping the next generation." Bianca nods, her expression resolute. "I understand, Gunnar. I'll make sure they're ready. We won't be caught off guard again." Turning to Olivia, Gunnar's expression softens slightly. Olivia, you're being retired from active duty. You've served the agency well, but it's time to pass on your knowledge. You'll be an instructor at the training facility, guiding new recruits. Your experience in the field is unmatched. They need your wisdom. Olivia gives a small, understanding smile. I'll do my best to prepare them, Gunner. It's hard to step back, but I know it's the right thing to do. Finally, Alexandra steps forward, her face pale but resolute. Her ordeal has left her physically weakened, but her spirit is unbroken. Gunner, I can't do this anymore, she says, her voice steady but filled with emotion. I need time to heal, both physically and mentally. I'm going home. I need to find myself again before I can be of any use to anyone else. Gunner nods, understanding the weight of her words. Take all the time you need, Alexandra. You've been through more than anyone should. We'll be here if and when you're ready to return. Alexandra gives a small, grateful nod and steps back. The room is silent for a moment, the weight of the decisions settling over them all. Gunner takes a deep breath, looking at each member of his team. I know this is a lot to take in. We're all on different paths now, but we're still a family. We're still fighting the same fight, just in different ways. I have faith in all of you. We will find a way to stop Ultranacious and the Black Dawn, no matter what it takes. With that, the team disperses, each member moving to fulfill their new roles. Gunner heads to the ritual chamber, where Eliana is waiting, the portal shimmering with a soft, otherworldly light. He pauses at the threshold, looking back one last time at his team before stepping forward. I'll see you all again. Count on it. He steps through the portal, the world around him dissolving into a swirl of colors and light. As he travels to the distant realm where the Starlight Gem awaits, his mind is filled with thoughts of his team, his mission, and the unknown challenges that lie ahead. He knows this journey will test him in ways he's never imagined, but he's ready. He has to be. For his team, for the agency, and for the world. On the other side, he finds himself standing in a strange new land, bathed in a twilight glow. The air is cool, filled with the scent of unfamiliar flora. In the distance, a tall mountain rises, its peak shrouded in mist. He knows his destination lies at the top where the Starlight Gem awaits. With a deep breath, Gunner begins his ascent, the weight of his mission heavy on his shoulders, but his resolve unbreakable. The path ahead is uncertain, but he is ready to face whatever challenges come his way. Alone but not alone in spirit, Gunner steps forward, his journey to the Starlight Gem just beginning. Chapter. In the days following Gunner's departure through the portal, the atmosphere within the agency's headquarters is one of quiet determination mixed with uncertainty. The team members have accepted their new roles and are preparing for the tasks ahead, knowing that each of them will now play a different part in the ongoing battle against the Black Dawn and Ultranacious. Eliana, with her otherworldly grace and ancient wisdom, moves through the facility with a purpose. She seeks out Karina, who is sharpening her weapons in the armory, preparing for her next mission with Alex. Karina's eyes are focused, her movements precise, but there's a tension in her shoulders, a readiness for the unknown that lies ahead. Eliana approaches quietly, her footsteps nearly silent against the cold, metallic floor. She holds a long, slender object wrapped in a shimmering silver cloth. As she nears Karina, she clears her throat softly to get her attention. Karina looks up, her expression cautious but respectful. Eliana, she greets, pausing her work. What can I do for you? Eliana offers a small smile and extends the wrapped object towards her. I have something for you, Karina, a gift of sorts and a tool for your journey. She carefully unwraps the cloth, revealing a gleaming silver katana. The blade is elegant and deadly, its surface etched with ancient runes that glow faintly with a soft blue light. This katana is imbued with the same magic as the pack's daggers, Eliana explains. It has the power to banish demons and trap their essence, just like the daggers. I hope it will aid you in your quest to hunt down the Black Dawn operatives. Karina's eyes widen as she reaches out to take the katana, feeling its weight in her hands. The weapon feels perfectly balanced, almost as if it was made specifically for her. She runs a finger along the blade, feeling the energy humming beneath the surface. "Thank you, Eliana," she says, her voice sincere. "This will be a great help. I won't let you down." Eliana nods, her expression serious. "Good luck to you, Karina. May the spirits guide you and keep you safe on your journey." With a respectful nod, Karina secures the katana at her side, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. She knows the task ahead will not be easy, but she's ready to face whatever comes her way. She turns back to her preparations, her mind already on the hunt. Eliana then makes her way to Clora, who is in the library surrounded by books on supernatural lore and artifacts. Clora looks up as Eliana enters, her eyes bright with curiosity. "Clora," Eliana begins, "we depart in the morning for my realm. There is much to learn, and time is of the essence. Make sure you are ready." Clora nods eagerly, already feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation about the journey ahead. "I'll be ready, Eliana. I've been looking forward to this. There's so much we don't know about the supernatural, and I want to learn everything I can." Eliana smiles gently, pleased with Clora's enthusiasm. "Good. Knowledge is our greatest weapon in this fight. Prepare yourself for what lies ahead. The realm we are going to is unlike anything you've seen before." Next, Eliana approaches Desiree, who is in the infirmary undergoing a final checkup on her new prosthetic leg. Desiree has been adjusting well, her determination and resilience evident in every step she takes. She looks up as Eliana enters, offering a smile despite the pain that still lingers. "Desiree," Eliana says, her voice calm and reassuring, "I have something for you." She hands Desiree a small talisman, a silver pendant engraved with ancient runes and symbols. "You are now the sole guardian of this facility while Gunnar is away. If you ever need me, use this talisman to summon me. It will connect us across realms." Desiree takes the talisman, feeling the cool metal against her palm. She nods, her expression resolute. "Thank you, Eliana. I won't let anything happen to this place. I'll keep it safe, I promise." Eliana nods, placing a hand on Desiree's shoulder. "I know you will. You have the strength and courage to protect this place and everyone in it. Trust in yourself." After ensuring that Desiree understands the talisman's power, Eliana makes her way to the briefing room, where Reagan is gathering her things. Reagan has just received her new orders, transferring her to Fort Liberty in North Carolina. She's set to join a specialized unit there, bringing her expertise to a new team. Eliana catches her just as she's about to leave. "Reagan," she calls softly, and Reagan turns to face her. "I wanted to wish you luck on your new assignment. You've been a valuable member of this team, and I know you'll excel at Fort Liberty. Remember, the fight isn't over, and you'll always have a place here." Reagan smiles, a mixture of pride and sadness in her eyes. "Thank you, Eliana. I'll never forget what I've learned here, and I'll make sure to keep in touch. This fight isn't over for me either." She gives a quick nod before turning and heading out, her stride confident as she walks away from the only home she's known for years. Sophia, having made the decision to return to her roots, is in the process of packing her things. She's decided to go back to her police department as a captain, bringing the skills and experiences she's gained at the agency back to the force. Her return is bittersweet, filled with both relief and sorrow as she prepares to leave her comrades behind. Eliana finds her in the locker room, saying her goodbyes to some of the other agents. "Sophia," Eliana says, "I wanted to see you off. You're going back to where you're needed most. Your leadership and strength will make a difference. Don't forget that you're part of this family, no matter where you are." Sophia nods, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I won't forget, Eliana. This place, these people, they're a part of me now. I'll always carry that with me." With a final hug, she turns and walks out, ready to face the next chapter of her life. Jewel, having recovered well from her injuries, has chosen to transfer to the training academy as a nurse. Her experience in the field and her skills in medicine make her an invaluable asset to the new recruits. She's in the infirmary saying goodbye to the medical team when Eliana approaches. "Jewel," Eliana says, her voice warm, "you've been through so much, and yet you've come through stronger than ever. The academy is lucky to have you. You'll be an inspiration to all the new recruits." Jewel smiles, a sense of peace settling over her. "Thank you, Eliana. I've learned a lot here, and I want to pass that on. If I can help even one person the way I've been helped, it'll be worth it. With each farewell, Eliana feels the weight of the changes that are sweeping through the agency. The world thinks they're dead, but as she watches each member of the team find their new path, she knows that's far from the truth. The spirit of the agency lives on in every person who has walked through its halls, in every battle fought, and in every life saved. As she prepares to leave with Clora for her realm, Eliana reflects on the journey ahead. There is still so much to learn, so much to fight for. The battle against darkness never truly ends, but with allies like these, she knows they will continue to stand against it, no matter where their paths lead. The agency may be changing, but its mission endures, and so does its hope.